Good afternoon. It's November 7th, 2020, an historic day at the end of a historic week, in the middle of a historic year, and a historic decade of the United States history. And I know it has been a roller coaster ride for everyone, probably, or certainly for the 67% of the American people who got out and participated in this entire electoral process. And it has been really exciting to see how much engagement we have with the process and how many people are turning out to support their belief and their vision for the future and to really make the American process work the way it's supposed to. This is a time that has been phenomenally stressful for a lot of people. I know, and we've known all along, that no matter which way the election would turn out, there would be a significant number of people who were very unhappy with the results. And that very much reflects the situation we were in 4 years ago, in 2016. And even before that, the division that we see in America, the great gap that has divided us, is not one that you can lay on the feet of Donald Trump or Barack Obama or any one person. And it's a persistent problem that has been growing in America and possibly has been here since the bedrock of our nation. But I will say, in my opinion, the previous 4 years have done nothing to try to bridge that gap. And certainly the president and many people in power have done much to try to widen that gap or further the divide, which has not been helpful or healthy for the nation as a whole. Obviously, I have biases. I have my own preference in this election, as everyone does. And I'm not saying that my opinion is the one true opinion or the right opinion, or someone who feels differently than me is inherently wrong and evil and bad. But one of the things I've noticed this week in particular are some words that have seem very timely to me. I've been preparing this week for a Masonic installation this morning. I've been a Freemason for over 10 years, and every year we elect a new Master of the Lodge, and there's a ritual that goes together with the process of installing him and putting him in charge of the Lodge, much like Inauguration Day for the American president. And the words that we speak are words that describe the qualities and qualifications that a man should have to be a good leader. And I think they're just so relevant and resonate so strongly for me with the time that we're in right now. And I want to note, Freemasonry is a very conservative organization. And one of the tenets that a master swears to later on in this installation is that it is beyond the power of any man or group of men to make innovations in the body of Masonry. This is not a group that lightly changes directions or rolls easily with whatever the current state of the world is. It's very dedicated to preserving tradition and to passing on the learning and the history that the organization and the members of the group have had for centuries. In many cases, the language will sound a little bit formal and stilted because we have preserved it in its original form as best we can. There's no perfection in humanity, unfortunately, but that is a goal. And as many of you may know, many of the founding fathers of America were themselves Freemasons. So I think that the characteristics and the qualifications that this ritual speaks to would be ones that the founding fathers themselves would have said, yes, these are the qualities we would expect to see in a man who's going to be a leader and a representative of all people in this nation. And as I hear these words and as I've been memorizing them and reflecting on them, it just strikes me what a contrast there is between the two candidates in this election. And I'm going to share the words with you. I want you to just, if you would humor me and as open-mindedly as you can, just reflect on these words and consider the two men that we had proposed as leaders of this nation and what they are like, what their character is, what their actions and behaviors have shown in the past, and what we hope we will see in the future, or fear we will see in the future, depending on our point of view. But do they resonate with this vision of what a leader should be that the Freemasons have passed down? And I'm going to risk making innovations in the body of Masonry here a little bit, just to make this resonate a little bit more for our non-Masonic audience. Anytime that the text would refer to the Master of the Lodge, I'm going to substitute the word president. And anytime it would refer to a Mason, I'm going to substitute the word American, because I think these words apply beyond the realm of Masonry to all of us right now. And I would like to share those with you, especially those of you who might not have had the opportunity to hear these words before, and to really just think, how does this apply? What does this mean? Who are these people that we're looking to have be our leader in this unprecedented time of crisis? And without further ado, these are the words of installation for the Worshipful Master of a Lodge. The very consciousness of possession of a great power will ever make a generous mind cautious and gentle in its exercise. To rule has been the lot of many, and requires neither strength of intellect nor soundness of judgment. To rule well has been the fortune of but few, and may well be the object of an honorable ambition. It is not by the strong arm or the iron will that obedience and order, the chief requisites of good government, are secured, but by holding the key to the hearts of men. The office of president is of great antiquity and respect, and is one of the highest dignities to which we may aspire. Its incumbent, to rule well, should possess and practice several important requisites. As a man, he should be of approved integrity and irreproachable morals, freed from the dominion of hasty temper and ill-governed passions, of good repute in the world, and practicing as an example to his brethren the cardinal virtues of temperance, fortitude, prudence, and justice. As a citizen, he should be loyal to his government, obedient to its laws, prompt in the duties he owes to society, and display a pattern of fidelity in all social and domestic relations. As an American, he should cling to the old landmarks and be sternly opposed to their infringement, be desirous to learn and apt to teach, be prompt to aid and relieve, and be ever mindful that, though elevated for a time above his fellows, he is elevated by them, and should therefore cultivate everywhere and at all times the golden tenets of brotherly love, relief, and truth. As an officer, he should remember, first of all, that he is an individual American, sharing in that respect a common lot with his brethren, and therefore interested in the welfare of each and all. Be devoid of undue ostentation and haughty overbearing. Be accessible to all, cultivating the closest friendship and the most unlimited confidence with his associate officers. Be eager to take counsel with his brethren and ready to give it. Be ready to reward good. Be devoid of favoritism and wholly impartial. Such are some of the most important qualifications the president should possess, and the errors he should avoid. It may be that most, if not all of us, have failed to reach this standard, but it is attainable. And be it your purpose to reach it, and be a bright and shining example to those who shall come after you. In my mind, it's night and day. Biden's not perfect. He is not a perfect man. He has errors in his history, as we all do. As we've all failed to meet standards, he's failed to meet standards. But I truly believe he will make the effort to meet with Americans on the level, to try and be a representative for all Americans. And I know that people who are profoundly invested and very committed to Donald Trump are going to have a hard time receiving that. And I don't blame them. Yeah, I personally would have been more than willing to receive an overture from Trump's policies, but he made no effort whatsoever to try to reach out and connect with people who disagreed with him. That's not his style. He did embrace the strong arm and the iron will. But that's not the path to good government. And the issues that we face, the division that we have, it's not something that Biden's going to be able to fix. Of course not. It's not something the Senate can fix, the House Republicans can fix, the House Democrats can fix. It's not something the entire apparatus of American government can fix, because it is bigger than any person or office or even institution. It is endemic and systematic in the culture and in the fiber of America itself. And the only way to fix it is for us to fix it. We are America. And it is for us to fix our problems. It is for us to reach out and understand people who we don't agree with. We don't have to all get along. We don't all have to have the same opinion, the same perspective. We don't have to have the same values necessarily. We do have to have common respect. We do have to have common decency. We do have to have common accommodations. My family, and I think many, if not most families in this country, I would say half are in favor of Donald Trump, half are in favor of Joe Biden. That doesn't mean that we have to be at each other's throats. That doesn't mean that we may disagree on policy, we may disagree on direction. I don't love them any less. They don't love me any less. This is not an issue that divides us irreconcilably. And the rhetoric and language that we have heard has really tried to make it sound like it is. Like everybody needs to take a position for or against, and if you're not for, you're against. And that's not the way it has to be. That's not the way it has been. America is not perfect. It's never been perfect. There are things in our history that are terrible, terrible stains on our honor, stains on our good judgment, stains on our virtue. And they will never be washed away. We've made mistakes. We also have things in our history that are bright and shining examples to the rest of the world of what can be accomplished when people come together in common purpose, in common direction, with a common dream, and pursue a common vision. That is also America. And that's the America that has been lost, I think, in a lot of the national conversation in the last few years. And we have this crisis, whether you believe that the coronavirus is the worst thing that has ever happened, or it's something much worse than an overblown highfalutin flu. Whatever your choices, whatever your perception on the virus itself, no one can question the impact that has been had on our economy, on the jobs, on the livelihood of people here in America. And that's across the aisle. It is not selectively killing off one side or the other, one philosophy or the other, killing the careers of one group or another. Everybody's hurting. And we need to empathize and connect with everybody. The Democrats can't just be here to try and fix up the blue and shore up the damage that the Republicans have done for our constituency and make everything better for us. And the Republicans cannot be, oh, we're just going to take care of the red states, the blue states, they're the ones that are screwing up. That's not America. I'm going to help my brother. I'm going to help my sister. I'm going to help my neighbor. Even if, I'm a flag-wearing liberal and they're a conceal and carry gun nut. You can get as opposite as you want to get. We're still all Americans. And that is one of the great things about Freemasonry as an organization is you check that baggage at the door. Whatever your faith, whatever your belief, whatever your perception, when you're here, we're all brothers. And that is first and foremost. And the differences can come up. And there will be differences of opinion. We will not always agree. Likewise, we in America will not always agree. We don't need to always agree. We need different perspectives. If we have a left and right in this country, we definitely do, but I would strongly promote to you guys the notion that the left and right in this country are like my left eye and my right eye. If I'm looking through both of them, I have much clearer vision. I can see where I'm going. I have depth perception that I would not have if I was just using one or just using the other. We need them both, but they need to communicate. They need to work together. We need to see how they're different, how they're the same, and use that to move ourselves in a common direction. We all want safety. We all want security. We all want to have enough to live off of comfortably. We all want to know our kids are going to be okay. Our grandkids are going to be okay. It doesn't matter what our philosophy is. And if we can come together on those things and find the ways that we can support those goals, everything else will come. I want us to be a nation, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what we pledge. That is who it is and what it is to be American. And I really hope that we will see in the days and weeks and months to come a return to that sense of national pride and that sense of common union of purpose and vision. And I look forward to speaking with you more. I hope that you will keep in touch with me and that we will navigate this journey together. Thank you for your time, and God bless.